Hey everyone, sorry about the slight delay. I have my guest backstage. I'm not going to say hi to everybody individually because, usually when I have a guest backstage, I'm not going to keep them waiting. So hi everybody. I hope everybody's doing great. And this is going to be a fun one. So I'm going to start my intro and then we'll get into it.
Get my intro.
That one on.
He is. He's fabulous. And he's on the inside.
Hold that one on.
And he's on the inside.
Hi, Tiffany, Franco.
Hi.
How are you? It's been a hot minute since I've had you on.
Yes. Where have you been?
Where have you been?
Hiding under a rock.
So I have a million things to ask you. First off, how are you doing?
Good. I'm doing really well. I've been really focused, as you know, like just on my business. So I've just really been putting anything and everything into Addie Rose. So yeah, that's like just really my home life with the kids and my business. That's like tunnel vision. That's what I'm focused on.
Well, how is the weight loss journey going? Because you look like you need to eat something.
Oh, no.
Girl, you're skinny.
No. So I have lost, you know what? I haven't even done the math. Okay. I was at 297. I'm at 212. But
I can't believe you're 212. Like
I know, you know what? It's the way, like, I'm not skinny. I'm heavier. I'm bigger in like the thighs and mid area there, like the thighs and butt. That's where like most of my weight is. That's just how I've been built since I was really young. But yeah, I'm 212. I think after like a year and a half, honestly, after a year, you're kind of on your own with the knowledge from the surgery, right? The surgery pushes you for like the first year. And then you kind of have to be on your own and kind of take everything that you learn in the first year and really put that into your life, like the portions, cutting out unnecessary like sugars and carbs. So, I'm glad I did what I did. I learned how to nourish my body again. I mean, I'm not perfect. I still like need to do way better at my vitamins, drinking enough water, but I definitely learned a lot and I'm learning every day. I feel really good.
You look really good.
Thank you.
Like, you look fantastic. And everybody in the chat seems to agree.
Oh, thank you.
You look amazing. You look beautiful. You look gorgeous. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome for the ego boost. So there you go. Do you have a target weight that you want to get to, or?
So honestly, mentally, I try to take the numbers away from it, even though numbers are important, right? I try to disconnect skinny with healthy, right? Because everyone wants to be skinny, but I try to kind of separate those two things. And I'm like, I just want to get to where I feel happy and I don't want to tie that to a certain number, right? So I'm at 212 now and I'm happy.
You look amazing. Your happiness exudes though. From your TikToks, from your IG, you just look like you're in such a better place. And I've known you for years now, and we've hung out a whole, personally. You're not just some person that I've, we're friends and real life.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've never seen you this happy ever.
Yeah. Honestly, I hate being that person that's like, everything is perfect. Everything is good. I'm so happy. But holy crap. I've gotten to a place in my life, and obviously I just want to keep going. I want to keep pushing myself to do better and better. But I'm finally right now, at a place in my life where I'm like, damn, I'm doing it. I'm proud of myself finally.
I'm proud of you. I hate saying that to people because it always comes off as condescending. But I look at you and how happy you are. I'm like, damn, I wish I could be happy like that.
Come on.
No, it's there's a joy about you that
yeah.
It's really nice to see.
When you met me, okay, so I think most of my like adult life, I was kind of like in a weird, confusing place. I was never ever like, I've always had like body dysmorphia from a young age, right? Because my weight was always like the topic of discussion for my entire family. Hispanic like upbringing, they always focus on like you're either too big or too small. So like I've had body dysmorphia for most of like my young into like my adult life, right? So my body's always been something that like made everything worse. Like, oh, I'm too big, or I'm this, or I need to do like these crash diets. So I've never gotten to a place where I'm like, I'm good, I'm fine, I don't care what anyone thinks, I am happy, right? So I think the past 2 years, I've just been like, I don't care anymore. And that's
You've been
that's
through
like
hell, you've been through
for
hell in the last
real.
2 years, and like for
And I
you to
want to
like
make,
bounce back from like what you, it's incredible.
I want to say one thing. As salty, as much as I make fun of my relationship, I make jokes about the funny, horrible situations I went through. Like I always make TikToks about my past relationship just because I feel like it's relatable. So many people go through the same thing. But I want to make very clear, I am so grateful that I went through that. I went through it a little longer than I think I should have, but I'm so grateful that I went through that, because before that, my self-worth, for like my own self-worth, like I put it into everyone else's hands. It was never just like, I know what I'm worth and I have standards. And when I date a man, I'm not just going to date a guy that like, oh, I like you. He likes me. Oh my gosh. Right. That doesn't mean anything to me anymore. If a guy likes me, I'm like, oh, cool. That's nice. Let me figure out if I like you, or let me figure out if, you are good enough for me. Right. Just like people look at you and they're like, I want to see if this girl's good enough for me. I'm allowed to do that too. And it took me so long to get to a point where I'm like, if no one's going to put you first, if no one's going to respect you, you have to do that for yourself. And I never was the kind of person who ever like was able to do that. And I don't know, it's been such a
You didn't
crazy,
have confidence in yourself. That's why.
none at all. I'm telling you, none at all. For the relationship that I allowed myself to get into, my confidence must have been less than zero, because the things that I went through are not normal. Like in every single department, it was just completely not normal. And the fact that I went through it, I look at myself now, I'm like, damn, what the hell was I going through that I allowed that to happen?
Well, you were selling yourself short.
That doesn't even cover it. Like what I would go. But yeah, I'm grateful for that relationship, because if I ever went through that, I don't think if I didn't go through that, I don't think I would have ever like snapped out of it and like, oh hell no. No man is ever going to disrespect me like that. And my priorities are elsewhere now. Like I could care less if a man tells me you're the love of my life, the light of my eyes, my angel. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Like if I don't see actions, I do not care about what comes out of your mouth. It took me forever to like stand my ground and have boundaries, and so I'm really grateful for that.
You look great. And thank you, Wicked, by the way. I just got that. Thank you. Yeah. No, I mean, you just exude, like, you are just so different, like, and so positive. And not that you weren't positive before, but you had a lot going on, and, and you just are a different person, and you're just happy, and I love it.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm back to how I was many, many, many years ago, like many years ago, before like I went into like that really dark place. I was always a happy, loving, accepting, patient person. And I feel like I'm finally getting back to me again. So that's really nice.
And what's going on with Addie Rose? How's that working out?
It's going crazy. Like when I have dedicated myself to it, I have like given my 110% to it.
If one of my mods can drop Tiffany's Addie Rose link. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's been crazy. I had a really rough beginning. Like it went well, but then I was inconsistent. I was confused. I'm like, being a business owner, I think in the first couple of years is really hard, because I'm like very good at the creative part, but I'm not like a numbers person, and all that was all really confusing for me. So it is a learning process. I'm still learning, but now I'm giving my all, and I'm pushing myself, and every penny I make, I take care of my responsibilities, but it goes right back into the business. And I'm making more products. I'm releasing in in a month or so, I'm dropping a brand new collection of blushes, which is something I didn't have in my line before. Everyone loved my like butter
Well,
gloss.
your pink eyeshadow, I think, is the like the cat's pajamas.
Yes.
I mean, I even
Yeah.
have it.
You what?
I even have it.
Yeah, so I'm coming out with a new collection of blushes. I'm adding 2 new highlighters to my highlighters that are literally always sold out. The moment I put them on the website, they go like that. So I restocked for the second time my 2 most popular highlighters. I'm putting 2 new shades on the list. I sold out of so many of my butter glosses. I've added 4 new shades and restocked 2 of my sold out ones, restocking all the lipsticks that I've sold out of. And yeah, I'm coming out with a bunch of fun. So what I like, I think what separates me from a lot of like those big brands, right, is that I like to like thank people for even taking a second look at my brand, right? So very often do I say, hey, if you buy anything today, you get a free gift. Doesn't matter what the dollar amount is. Some days I do like over 50. On weekends, I try to do this. I do like a spinning wheel, right? And everyone who spends over 50 or sometimes just for any dollar amount, I let them spin and they win like a
That's
full
great.
size product. So I try to make it fun and I try to definitely give
And
back.
what
Like,
do you do? How do you? By the way, Wendy, thank you. How do you? Where do you do these lives where people can like see the wheel and like do all that? Like how can they see that?
so it's honestly it's on my Tiffany Franco _ Instagram. It's always on there. It's not on the Addie Rose Instagram. It's mainly on my personal Instagram. And I go live almost every day, but I focus a lot on weekends. So Fridays and Saturdays are my big going live days. I go live every Saturday. And mostly the Saturdays. Oh, you have Pinky Winky.
Oh, Julie loves.
um,
Oh, Julie just went to a concert. That's my and she had your Pinky Winky in full effect, honey. She lives by it.
Oh, that's awesome. I've been thinking about restocking the Pinky Winky too, because
You know
that's
that's
how it's
not like
sold
your
out.
best seller, isn't it?
My best. Okay, so I have a Pinky Winky palette that's sold out completely. And then I've got like in memory of my first product that I ever had, I made a gloss called Pinky Winky. So it's right here actually. It is my freaking best seller. People love it. It's got like the pinks. If you look at the
And
Pinky
how
Winky
much is
palette,
that?
this one's 22. And it's a
That's
butter gloss, so it's got like a treatment for your lips as well. So it's really nice. So I'm also coming out with a lip treatment, which is what I'm wearing right now. This packaging is freaking crazy. If I had it here, I'd show it to you. It's got like completely bedazzled top. It's going to be called Lip Drench, but it's so good for your lips and it makes your lips look so supple and juicy. So I'm excited about that.
Wicked wants to know if you do skincare at all or not
And
yet.
not yet. I don't think I have got enough years or experience under my belt. And I would never like to I would never put out skincare that isn't like
So
top
you're not
notch
going to put the
anyway.
cart before the horse. You're going to learn about it first and then do it.
Yeah.
See, like
I'm
that's commendable.
Yeah, because like as a makeup artist, I've seen way too many people who don't even do their makeup, who don't even get into makeup. They start making these makeup lines. And I'm like, if you don't like obsess over the thing that you're selling, how could you be sure that you're selling something that is even worthy of like people like giving your brand a shot, right? So I put a lot of thought, a lot of effort into every little detail of everything I sell, from the logos to the designs to the packaging to everything to the product. Like I put a lot of time and effort into it, and now it's finally paying off. Like I'm doing really, really, really well, and I'm not taking it for granted. I'm making sure that there's crazy gifts that I give away, and I don't know, people are excited, and I think it really makes a difference that they buy something just to give me the opportunity to impress them, and then I send them like a present.
Well, this is Julie, moderator 148, wearing your Pinky Winky right there.
Aw, I love
She
that.
lives by it. She's
Aw.
so there you go. So that's exciting. So everything's like it seems that that's progressing
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Your head's really in the game now, huh?
Finally, yeah. When you get your mind off of places it doesn't need to be, you can really focus on what actually matters in life.
Like I'm just so happy for you. I just love when people have good news and they're doing better, and like it just makes me happy. And I love you, and I'm so happy that everything is working out for you. So let's get to the more sloppier things that I have to ask you about.
Ooh, I love it. Uh-huh.
All right. This isn't really new news or anything, but what was going on with that weird Scott guy from
Oh my gosh.
So many people were asking me to go live with you, like when that was happening, but like I was like, I can't go live with anybody right now. What? Oh my god! Thank you, Jay Freak. What was that all about?
So, okay. Let me tell you where it started and how it ended the way it ended. So, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble.
No, you're fine.
I don't care. I don't care. Listen, I don't care. So, there was this girl that she followed me for many years, and this is okay. She's followed me for many years. She's always like commented on my stuff. And then one day I just followed her back because she was like really nice. She said a lot of nice stuff. She would send me DMs saying, like, talking back in the day when I was going through everything I was going through with my marriage. She was like typical narcissist. My ex did the same exact things. And she actually explained a lot to me about the things that they do. And everything that he did was to the book what her ex did. So I was like, that's crazy that, like, we went through the same thing. And it's good to like be able to vent to someone who knows how this works, right? So I followed her back. I didn't think much of it. I didn't even look at her page, but she would always message me. Just recently, she posted a status, and it was a picture of him completely nude, everything out, but she covered just that.
So this woman sent you a picture of Scott completely nude?
No, she put it on her story. And he was
I don't want. He was on like what, Love in the Caribbean, like with like Pedro's mom, right? Like that's who he was. Am I getting this right?
Yes, that's him. So
you're gonna be wait. You're gonna be Pedro's mom sloppy seconds. Like that's what that was.
Listen, that was never a thing. It was never like that. And on top of that, like the worst part is he knew that I was seeing someone. Like he knew that.
Even my cat's like, girl, you're better. Girl. My cat just had to walk away.
Listen, I was about to be Pedro's stepmom. I'm kidding. That doesn't work like that. Doesn't even make sense. Anyway, no. Okay, that wasn't a thing. It was just okay. So she posted that picture on her status of him completely nude with just covering that area, and I messaged her and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And she goes, "This." All the bad words that exist. And then I was like, what happened? And she goes, he's disgusting. He called me an ugly bee and da-da-da-da, all because I didn't want to show him my body. And he was just freaky and da-da-da. And he's weird and gross. And he just randomly pulled his pants down and showed it. And I was like, and that's so inappropriate and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, so I didn't know who he was at all. She just told me he was on the show. And when she said what he did, I was like, So I was literally about to post it on my status and tag him and cover everything, but tag him and be like, can you explain this? Like, say your part. Why would you do this? Right? Because I don't like when men cross the line.
Do you watch like the Love Caribbean style or okay? I don't.
No, I don't. I didn't even watch my season, John. All right. So I was about to post it on my story and just tag him and have that be it. Like, don't be out here. Like, just, you don't do that. You don't just pull it down when you're in the middle of a video call. But then I thought about it and I was like, it would be so dumb of me to just assume that everything this woman says is true without giving this person a chance to explain themselves. Right. I wouldn't want someone to do that.
Because you're a human being and you're smart. So yeah, I commend you for that. Go ahead.
So I DM'd him instead. And I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. And it's also none of my business, but this is what she's saying. And she posted it on her story. So what the hell? And then he explained to me, he sent me a bunch of voice notes. He's like, she's crazy. She said this. He sent me screenshots. And I was like, oh. And I was like, oh. So the screenshots proved otherwise. And I just kind of just was like, okay, well, not my business. As long as you're not out here doing this to women, whatever. And he was like, I can't believe you just messaged me. I was working in this hospital or something like that. And then like the nurses are always watching and then they always saw you on the show and I always loved you. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he's like,
not like, all there, right? Like,
I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
Okay, like, listen, I'm not one to make fun of anybody who's like down on their luck because certainly I've been, but like, wasn't he like living in his car or something? I don't know.
Like, I have no idea about that. All I know
is I heard like that he's like, kind of like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You know what? I was pissed off that one time I was like, you should wear this lipstick in the shade Laura. And I was like, you should order it.
Wait, you have a shade called Laura? Oh, Lord. Yeah.
That's my sister's name, John.
Okay.
Okay, listen. I said, you should wear it, whatever. And he goes, yeah, you should send it to me. And I was like, you can go to my website and buy it. And he was like, it would be nice if you just send it to me. And I was like, And anyway, it was joking, whatever, right? And in the beginning, it was just funny joking. I literally was just like, oh, you should wear my lipstick because you have no top lip, which is what people were saying to make fun of him. And then he was out of nowhere was like, I love you so much. And I was like, I told him, I was like, it's all good. Like, I don't care if what you want is like the 10. I remember when I was first on the show and I got a ton of followers out of nowhere. I was excited too. I was like,
yeah, but when you were first on the show and like when people still cared about it. Sorry, I'm like, you know.
I went on and I said to him, I was like, honestly, if you're doing this for like the attention, whatever, I don't care at all. I don't mind.
Were you on The Other Way first or before?
No, I was on The Other Way and season 1. I was the first season of.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So I told him if you're doing this because you're like excited about all your followers and I've got a little more followers than you want to be like online with me so you can get a couple followers, like I don't care, it's fine. I remember being excited when I got a ton too, and I always wanted the other cast members to post me. It was fun when you got a lot of exciters in the beginning, a lot of followers in the beginning. So I said, I don't mind, totally, I'll post, I'll go along with it with you, we can just joke around. And he was like, yeah, but then he laid it on thick and I was like, ooh, okay, what the hell? And then it got to a point where he called me one night and he's like, I'll drive to you right now. It'll be fun.
That would be easy, in his mobile car home. What? Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, yeah, we can hang out. I'll do your makeup. It'll be cool. I even told him like I could sit in the front room and be doing my makeup and then you could be on video call. Like,
so you're going to like have that man in your house?
No, I don't know him. So anyway, I was like, it'd be cool if like I'm on, Instagram live with you, wherever we would be, Instagram live, and you be in one room, I'd be in another, and then all of a sudden you walk in frame in mine, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" I was like, "That'd be so funny." But then he was like, "Yeah, let me go," blah, blah. And I was like, "Okay, I'll figure it out." I was thinking about like planning it, but then I got so many DMs from his exes, from ex women that he was talking to, and I kid you not, I posted that like 3 women that same day sent me a message on TikTok, on Instagram, and they were like, I'm not lying. I dated this man and he's really weird, blah, 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 blah. And then they sent screenshots. They were like, check my TikTok. That's his dog, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
but you were never like really interested in him.
No. And I told him, he asked me once, he's like, would you ever see me as anything other than a friend? And I was like, no.
I'd be like, bro, you're on the show trying to date like 70-year-old Pedro's mom. Like, I told them,
like,
trying to get senior coffees at McDonald's, like, going,
cut it out.
Like, I just got my Social Security check. Let's go wild. Let's get the early bird special at the Ponderosa.
I didn't, what? He did nothing towards me, right? So you know how I am. Somebody could tell me that this person is the most evil person in the world until they show me that I see them as anyone else, right? So him, I treated him like anyone else. He was nice. He was sweet. He wasn't my bestie because I didn't know him. But like, he did nothing wrong. He was normal. But then like, he did a couple things that for me were questionable. I even commented on his Instagram because he went on a rant about a song once. And I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. He got so mad. He's like, stop playing the song. And I was like, okay, cut it out, relax. And then he was like, I was just kidding. I wasn't really mad. And then I was just like, I don't know. It's weird. But then just the way he responds to things or reacts to things or says he wants to beat people up and stuff like that, I kind of found a little weird. So I was kind of just like, I'll just leave. I'll dead it. I
like that whole like, do you still talk to him? Like, how long did that like last? Like that whole, because like everyone's texting me, oh my God, Tiffany is getting involved with this guy named Scott, and he was dating Pedro's mom, and he's gross. And I was like, I have enough on my plate already right now. I can't get into it. But how long did that whole like?
I don't even remember it. It was, for me, it was like, I was laughing. I was sitting on my dining room table talking to the guy I was seeing, and I was like, he just made a video singing in his shower to me, and he was like, what? And he knows the guy by name. He's like, is it the Scott guy? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, what the hell? And then I explained to him, I was like, we're just joking. Like, it's this big ongoing joke. We're not going to date. There's literally nothing there. And he knows that. Like, I told him from day one, we were like messing around. But then he was like, that guy needs to chill. And I was like, whatever. And I just dropped it. I never spoke to him again. It wasn't like I hate you. I'm never going to hang out with you. You're weird. It was kind of just like, whatever. I'm over it.
So it's like, so how long has it been since you talked to him last? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I don't know. During the whole like we're gonna do our makeup together thing. After that, I
Oh,
kind of
a month. It's been a while. It's been a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
So speaking of you said any man in your life right now? It's and then not that. What happened to like, that cute little boy that was on the show with you that you were like taking pictures with?
Huh?
That little like like Boy Scout boy that you were dating for like a hot second. Is that
Oh
still?
my God, that was over like that was over so quick. I think it was like we dated for like 3 months, and to be honest,
I saw him like he's cute, but like that is not Tiffany Speed right there.
it was a confusing time though. Like, okay, picture this. Put yourself in my shoes, all right? You just got out of a relationship with Lucifer himself. So then imagine going through that time up and down and then just exiting and being like, bye. And then walking into your new life where you don't have to worry about all this like craziness. And then you're trying to date the most calm, easygoing, I would call it like white, bland bread of a guy. Super sweet, but just not enough, you know?
Single life with you, right?
What?
The guy that was on the single life with you at the end?
Yes. Okay. You sound far away.
I had to run to the kitchen real quick.
Okay. So I kept telling him, and I mean, it's all like a transition, you know, like that's how it works. I was learning how to date again. And I kind of remember telling him, like, it's really annoying that you don't take initiative on anything. Like, I make you coffee in the mornings. It would be nice if once in a while you said, you know what, don't worry, I'll make you coffee. And he would only do these things if I talked about it. And then I sat there and I said, am I doing the same thing again? Am I settling for a guy just because he likes me? And then I found out that I was like, okay, you know what? I do deserve someone that is going to like also take care of me and make me feel like catered to, the same way that when I love someone or when I care about someone, the way I show my love is like by almost like nurturing them or caring about them or taking care of them, right? So I do want that for me as well. And when when I saw that wasn't really there, it was kind of going to be in the same whole, like I was going to be stuck in the same roller coaster of like, I have to ask for what I want and I have to ask for it every time, and you don't learn and you don't pick up on like, oh, she likes that, so let me do that, right? So I kind of was just like, hey, listen, I think we get along better as friends. I don't hate you. We don't have to like hate each other, but we just get along better as friends. And he was like, yeah, okay. And then just recently, he I think I sent him a message because I was going to Ocean City and I know he works there. We're cool now, like just friends. So the other day I was like, I'm going to Ocean City, and he was like, oh my God, come say hi. We didn't get to say hi and have like reunite, but we're cool.
No reunion.
As of everyone else, I mean, as of whoever else right now that's in my life, listen, I'm testing the waters. It's like a buffet, and I'm not going to commit to a meal. I'm just like, let me see what it's like.
You're just gonna take out like a few plates. Yeah. You know, a little sample.
I'm not gonna go all out, right? I'm not introducing anyone. I'm not introducing anyone into this body or to my life, right? But I am, you know, figuring out what it is I like and seeing, you know, what's here that I like, and is this something I could see long term? No, okay. So I've got a couple options on the table, but I've got someone that's like really in love with me, but I'm just like, I told him, I was like, we could be friends with benefits. But it's just hard because I really just don't want to settle ever again. I don't think I'm too good for anyone. You shouldn't have to settle. No.
I
don't think I'm too good for anyone. I definitely, I'm not conceited. I don't think I'm too good and up
No,
here
I don't think you're conceited one bit. I think that like I said, you didn't have confidence before. You felt you had body dysmorphia and this, that, and the other. And, you know, it made you just settle because you didn't think you were worth more than what you thought in your brain. So and now you're like night and day. Like you're like Tiffany, like 3.5. Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't have to settle. And if, you know, listen, you're young and beautiful and, you know, smart. And when real love comes, like you'll know it. And
yeah, I'm waiting for that. I don't want to be honest. Okay, I'll tell you this one. I'll bring this up later, but I just don't want to jump headfirst into a relationship when it's not exactly what I want. I know I deserve what I want, right? So I just don't want to jump face first into something if I'm gonna sit there and be like, oh my god, I hate this, or like I'm unhappy, and I'm just gonna. I deserve that real happiness where I can say like, this is my. I could brag about my relationship and not hide it, you know, because.
And that's what you should want to be able to do. Like, yeah, you should want to be to brag about it. And like when you'll know it when it's right, you will. You're smart. Like, like I was with my ex for 10 years and then we broke up and I met Cody 6 months.
And then you got Pretty Woman.
I got Pretty Woman by Cody. And like he was my waiter in a restaurant.
Oh,
you just never know when it's like your time, but like it will happen, and I feel like, when you're actively looking for it, and I know a lot of people are, and I'm sorry, I don't want to piss anybody off, but like, when it falls on your lap, kind of like is when it, I'm gonna piss people off, but
no, don't.
I know there's a lot of people like who are on apps like Tinder and Christian Mingle and J Date and whatever who like want to like get a connect. I get that.
What the hell is J Date?
It's Jewish dating. Well, I said Christian Mingle, J Date.
Farmers only. What about farmers only?
eHarmony. Is there a farmers only one? There's 8 million dating apps. I'm sure there's probably like no. My point is that like when you find it and and it's not going to be because you sought it out. It's because that's how life works. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm sure all the people on eHarmony and whatever dating services all got married. Like, oh, John Yates is so wrong. Well, my own experience with it is that, like,
you're just sharing your experience. I mean, everyone has a different story, and it's all good. So I don't know. I'm just gonna figure it out.
I probably should not have even gone into that whole diatribe. I'm sorry. Like, listen, dating sites are the best. I love them all. Well, I don't because I'm not on them because I'm married. But do what you got to do to find somebody. That's all.
Yeah.
My point is
honestly, I think that right now is like it's the first time in a very long time that I'm not really focused on like finding anyone. Like I said, I'm 100% my business and my kids. That's it.
I don't want to offend anybody, like, and like, listen, you could be on a dating app and like have these people, you maybe have a plethora where you swipe or whatever. And like, you meet those people and then you find out this person's great for me. And yes, I was never that savvy. Thank God that like I've been with Cody for 15 years before like this kind of all happened. Cause like I was saying to my sister a couple of days ago, I'm like, God forbid if I were single right now, no, like, nope. Like I'm like this type of guy that goes like to the laundromat to try to meet people. Like I don't like that's I'm a kind of old school like that.
Gotta go to Home Depot and pretend you don't know how to fix anything.
Oh hey, like I need like this really big hammer. Like
I need a really strong.
But yeah, like how I met Cody. He was my waiter at a restaurant, and
he served you.
He served it well. And 15 years later, he still is. But there's always, my point is like, there's always like a chance encounter, and whatever. So let's get off this topic before I piss anybody off.
You're so funny.
I don't know. Like, dating sites are great, for the record. Everybody should want to be on one. If you want, I want everybody to be with a partner, and I want everybody to be happy, right? Like that's like the main. That matters. That's all that matters. So however you can find that person, I'm all for it.
There you go.
All right, am I good? Did I clear that?
I think you're in the clear.
Okay,
happy, that's all.
So Tiffany,
what? Not the voice crack.
So Ronald recently has been in the midst of a whole type of scamming situation.
Yeah.
And I had gotten a message from somebody. I'll show you guys. So way before Tiffany ever, because you had posted some stuff on your story, and I'm like, oh my god, this person was right. Because I get messages all the time about people, and I got a message from somebody like maybe like 3 weeks ago about Ronald scamming people on like some South African Facebook group.
What does the world come to?
Let me see if I can find it. There it is. And just so you see, like, I don't want to show like the name. Hold on, let me just slowly. July 27th, there. And there's pictures of scammer.
That's so bad.
Ronald Smith steals your money. Don't buy any inverter from him. He's on Facebook Market. He will be reported today. And I was like, I thought in my head it was somebody posing as Ronald.
Yeah.
Like, because that happens. But no, it's really Ronald. I don't know why I whispered it. No, it's really Ronald. Like scamming.
The crappy thing is he's doing all of this with the picture of our daughter as his profile picture. I'm like, hey, can you like scam people, but at least change that so they don't look at our daughter when you're stealing their money? It's crazy. Just like, okay, are we all surprised? Are we taken aback by this, or have I been yelling this for like the past 4 years?
Well, let me read this out. This is from someone called Madeline. She's in the Scam Alert South Africa Facebook page. She writes, the current photo of him I took is of his TikTok account. He's the same guy who came and gave my mom and I a quote for the inverter. What is an inverter? I don't know what it is, but like whatever.
So in South Africa, it's really crappy. The way everyone's living right now, it's a struggle. They basically have something called load shedding, either once a day or multiple times a day. In whole like towns, the power goes off for like 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, and people just have to deal with it. Like you just have to sit in your house with either no heater in the winter or no air conditioner in the summer. Your fridge is off, everything is off, no Wi-Fi, like it goes dark, right? It's happened when we were there for hours at like midnight when it's super dark. And like you can't do anything. You get candles.
And this happens like every night?
This happens every day when it's really bad. And sometimes they'll have it like twice a week, 3 times a week, but it is a consistent thing. So an inverter is so you could have power in some of your most important things, like your fridge, like a kettle if you want to make coffee, or your TV.
So
and your Wi-Fi.
You need this to like live and survive.
So the lady that you sent a message to, just by the way, FYI, she has been paid since then, only after all this went like public. He spoke to someone. Let me not say too much. So basically he didn't want his image.
Let me read this and then you could jump in, because then you might be able to not say as much as you want. All right. So, he gave me a copy of his ID to show the money I paid into his bank account belongs to Ronald Smith. His cell phone number belongs to Ronald Smith as well. I begged him to give back the money. My mom is old and needs the inverter for load shedding. I don't know what that means. What is load shedding?
When the power goes off. That's what it's called.
Okay. Load shedding when she needs oxygen. Oh my God, this is really sad. So she needs...
I've spoke to her since, because you know what? When all this happened...
So like they need to give her so she could like... Oh my God.
So she could breathe.
That's...
Like the balls. Balls to
I never read this. Like, that's... So she can breathe.
Gross.
She continues to say, I even said before he blocked me, even pay me 80% of the money now and the other 20 in a few days. He blocked me on WhatsApp and Facebook. All I wanted was my money back. I asked him for a quote on Sunday. The Monday morning, he was at my mom's place. The money, and there was more, I can't read the rest of it. Then she writes it in French. Here's the rest of it. The money was paid a few minutes afterwards. Yes, I know it was stupid to pay before I received the inverter. Then the next day, his Backy, Bakkie, Backy.
his truck.
Oh, okay, broke. The next day, he was stuck in traffic, and then from Saturday, excuses and after excuses, he blocked me Saturday night.
Yeah. So he blocked her. He wasn't going to pay her. But then when all the stuff went public, he was like, oh, let me unblock her real quick and pay her. And that wasn't a lot. That was 5,000 something. That's not a lot compared to the other people who have messaged me that it's 28,000, 38,000, 22,000. And it's so many people. And you know what? The crazy part is, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you allowing yourself to fall deeper and deeper and deeper in this hole? Like, okay, you know what? No one is surprised that you scammed a person. I don't think anyone is surprised. But like, to continue doing it to other people and not giving yourself even an opportunity to get yourself out of that hole. All these people are coming after him now. What is the purpose of that?
I didn't believe it. Like, I'm like, how can Ronald, like, I know he's stupid. Like, really? You're gonna be that stupid? Like, and like, I wish I would have, like, ran with it. Like, when I first I saw it, and I'm like, no, there's no way this could be like actually Ronald doing this to people. And lo and behold, it's really him.
Oh, yeah, it is. Anyway, like, that whole topic is just, people, I thought about it. I wasn't.
Did anybody from his did he screw anybody from his family over?
Yeah, he did. He did. And they messaged me. That was, I think, was kind of like what tipped the iceberg on this whole situation, because that person obviously was like, no, I'm not going to let you do this. And then everything kind of went nuts, because then everyone started coming up. It's multiple names that have come up. The family member, the family member's friend, the lady that you mentioned, and then now people from a long time ago coming forward and saying, oh, yeah, he did that to us too last year. And I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? What mess did you create for yourself? And I feel like, you know what? I'm out of that relationship. I walked away from that relationship not exactly because of this, but because there is not one day of this man's life that he could just wake up and say, today I choose to be normal. Today I choose to do things the right way. What?
Look at your text real quick.
Okay. How do I do that and not?
I don't know. Just yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, me and Tiffany, obviously, we're friends and we talk, right? So, Tiffany had just told me about something that Ronald had done to his own mother. Tiffany, care to extrapolate on what Ronald recently did to his own mother?
I don't know how recent. I don't know too much. Just that the mother's car, the mother's car was sold and then had to be purchased back by his mother.
So Ronald asked his mother to borrow the car.
Something like that, yeah.
Allegedly, we'll say.
Yeah, let's say allegedly. There we go.
And then while in possession of mother's car, Ronald allegedly sold it.
I think it's very important to remember, guys, the only reason this is even being talked about is because to not say anything, let's say I listen to everyone that tells me, leave it alone. It's not your problem. You know what, John, at the end of the day, none of this is my problem. Somehow
it's not.
Somehow these people all messaged me though. They all messaged me.
Because you're the responsible one. That's why.
Listen, they all messaged me.
That Madeline person, like, she's got paid back now, right? And did they come to you because you have, like...
She sent me a message the other day and she says, like, I don't feel like I need to take the credit because it's not my money. It's not me doing anything other than, like, I'm not going to stand by while people do this. If a man outside was being, like, bullied or somebody was taking advantage of him, I'd stand up for this stranger too. You know what I'm saying?
You have a good heart.
This topic is even like worse for me because this is my ex doing this to other people. And I'm like, oh, like I know how he works. And you know, I'm not gonna stay quiet and turn around and say like it's not my problem anymore. I don't want to deal with him. Like, no, absolutely not. If that makes me crazy, if everyone wants to think that I must miss him so much because you know what? Instead of scamming these people, scam me, please. Like, I don't care if people like what people think. I think it's so important to talk about it. If somebody did this to your mother and I was the only way to say, let me like make this go public, you'd want me to say something. So I'm doing it. Like this poor old lady that couldn't breathe, this poor old man that is losing time with his family. The guy can't even talk. His own family member, such a good, hardworking guy. Like this woman that just believed you and like believed you probably because you're on TV. All these people, like you're just gonna do this. You're gonna take in South Africa, it's as hard as it is to make money. How are you just gonna go taking people's money? That's so wrong. And all I'm doing is talking about it and bringing it to light because you know what? Let me tell you something. I guarantee you, and I already know because I've already heard it, there are people in his family that are upset with me. They're upset with me for saying something about it because I'm tarnishing his image. Oh my gosh.
What image?
This is the best thing I could do for this man. The best thing I could do for this man is tarnish his image so he can maybe realize, hey, let me not do that. Let me go get a job and pay my stuff. Let me work like a normal, almost 40-year-old. Like the guy just wants to coast by life, having women pay for his things, having people, you know, just give him money. And I'm just like, I feel bad for everyone that comes into contact with him. This girl is in South Africa with her kid, with her little kid. Like, are they going to do this?
Like, was your like, you know, your friend at one point because like, you know, you and her, you know, you were telling her or what how did that work out? Like,
okay, so I left him. I ended the whole relationship. He did a couple of things, including steal money from a lady. And that was one of the reasons why I confronted him and I said, we're done. One of the many reasons I confronted him.
And this was not like one of these ladies that we talked about like just now. Like it was
no, this was like back a year ago. He was stealing from a lady. And I saw the messages come up on his phone and I was like, I see and I kind of understand the Afrikaans on his phone. So I realized he had left and not given this lady her money. And she said, you promised me that you would give me my mom's money. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh. So I confronted him and that was like a downward spiral. I was like, I'm done. We're done. Do not speak to me. We're done. I've given you a blank page. I did everything you wanted me to do. I shut my mouth. I behaved. I stayed in the kitchen. I said, you go do everything you want. I'll trust you no matter what. Blind trust. Be a submissive woman. Let him do whatever he wants. Forgive him for everything. I did it purposely so that I could literally say to him, this is what you wanted. I did that. So now you see, here's the clear picture. You're the problem. Now I can leave and you can shut up forever. So I left and he went upstairs because I went to the people upstairs. I don't know if you remember, he filmed with them. I went to the people upstairs and I said, I'm done. Please help me go pack my stuff and leave. He came upstairs like he wanted to kill me. He was like, come down now. Come down now. Come down. They had to rip him off of me because he wanted to drag me downstairs because he didn't want me to leave. So I packed my stuff. He started texting me. He had like these ups and downs where he was like, oh, the first thing he said to me was like, oh, you're going to leave? Are you sure? And I quote, Lauren seems like a good option now. Because he knew, you know what? I'm literally going to text her and be like, make up some lie. Oh, I ended things with Tiffany or I made Tiffany leave or whatever. But I never wanted her. It was always you. And he knew that no matter what he said, she was going to, of course.
And I've seen it. Like, you know, Tiffany showed me some stuff.
And yeah, and I've shown you everything. So
Tiffany showed me pretty much everything. And like what she's saying is like, you know, it's between me and her, like as friends. Like I'm not, you know, obviously I can't, you know, but we're friends. But like, you know, she showed me like stuff that was said. I'm like, oh my God.
And my first thing is I walked away from that situation. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, when I said we're done, I felt nothing inside. I had nothing left for him. I said, we're done. And I had zero feelings. I stayed with him long enough to hate him. So I said, we're done. I walked away. The first thing I did was text her and send her a screenshot of what he had just said about her. I said, he's going to come for you and he's going to try and convince you that you were his first choice. don't allow this man to do this to you anymore. Stay strong. Me and her became really good friends after that. We exchanged the stories of how he was using us. She was like, yeah, oh my God, when I finally stopped giving him money, I was like, oh, I can go get lip filler now and I can treat myself. Wow, this is different.
Then she like pretended to be your friend.
I
And
don't
like,
know. I actually don't care. She's a different thing. Like she and him
no, I know
belong
you don't, and
together.
good for you for not. But like, she tried to bamboozle you. Like, her and Ronald should be together. Like they're like, cut from the same cloth. So I guess,
Yes, yes, yes. Just like low class people. Like just I don't know who they were raised by, but
wolves.
so it's just not my kind of people. But anyway, when I broke the things off with him, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I felt like I had gotten him back for the both of us. I am a girl's girl. Like I had her back. I broke up with him, whatever, ended things with him. And I messaged her almost as if like he must have broke her heart. Because when I got there and I confronted him about the whole thing, he literally messaged her in front of me saying, I'm sorry. I used you for money. I don't love you. And then he blocked her. And I said to her, I'm sorry, because that must have not been nice. Please give us time to work on our marriage just so she could go her side and we could figure out what's going on with us, right? After I ended things, I messaged her and I was texting with her and I felt like I had gotten him back for the both of us because no woman deserves that. I don't know why she's there. I don't know what she's getting out of it. Maybe the money they're scamming from people. but anyway, that whole scenario.
No, they are. They are. Like, now how long has she been down there in South Africa?
I don't know. The only thing I care about is her poor kid. Her poor kid is sitting there while Bonnie and Clyde.
No, like how is it over a month, like 2 months, a week? Like she's been there for a bit, right?
I promise you, I don't know. Maybe like this month she got there. I don't know. Apparently
like,
the plan was she was going to stay till September.
Okay. All right. Let me rephrase. Is it within the realms of like this inverter stuff where he's scamming people?
Yes,
so she's there with him while he's scamming people.
Yes.
I mean, like, hello, so, I guess most women or men in that situation be like, oh, I'm here visiting you in your country, but like now you're scamming people. Like,
I don't know.
I see a whole Bonnie and Clyde type of thing going on.
Something's not working. And I know I was dumb being with him. Believe me, I know I was dumb. But this girl has had more than enough, like people going, hey, let me show you something real quick. Hell no. Like including another woman that he scammed. She DM'd me and I was like, oh, this might be just a random person who wants attention. I won't believe it. She sent me screenshots of the WhatsApp conversation, of the conversation on Instagram. And she sent me the screenshots of the conversation she had with Lauren, telling Lauren what he did. And Lauren was so like nonchalant about it. Like, oh, he's fine. Whatever. Like she don't give a shit.
They're having a good old time scamming people in South Africa. Like
she is
allegedly.
She is weird. Like I feel like deep down in my soul, I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I feel like nothing else makes sense other than she's a super fan and she's with her celebrity crush and nothing he does could face her. She's like, Ronald Smith, I watched you on TV and you were just my fantasy guy. You know your place. That's a woman's job.
It's not like you haven't been honest. Like we've been live like a lot of times. Like remember, like we were live, like me and you, and then Ronald came up like last year, a couple years ago. Like it was like a whole big like free for all with like the meth that he was hiding and stuff like that.
And he's very heavy into that. Believe me, especially now that he's doing all this for sure.
And those lives are still on my channel. Just scroll down, like we posted the pictures of the baggies, like, and then he's like, yeah, that's mine. Okay.
I have voice notes that somebody sent me because somebody was burned by him too. This was a while ago. This person sent me voice notes where he was asking this person to get him a shot, right? Which means one little straw thing with the baggie, a little quick one. I have the voice notes, so I'm not full of it. He's got a problem.
Aren't you so happy that you're away from it? Hey, Sly.
Like, that's why it blows my mind when people are like, girl, you're obsessed.
Hey,
move
Steven.
on. I'm like, move on. Like, is something wrong with you that you're thinking that because I'm calling him out for what he's doing. I'm telling everyone how terrible he is. And I'm showing everyone like, hey, look, I was saying this all along. Here's the proof. Watch what he's doing and be careful. Hide your kids. Hide your wives. They're scamming everyone out here. And everyone's like, oh, she She must miss him. Like what? Miss what?
Let me ask you, has he tried to keep in contact with Carly or
Oh yeah,
Daniel?
he has. So Daniel, it's kind of hard with Daniel because Daniel won't respond. Daniel kind of was just like, no thanks. But with Carly, his mom bought Carly a tablet, and the tablet is horrible. It's one of the Amazon whatever ones. So like the thing barely works.
Well,
It,
Ronald's poor mom just lost her car because he sold it and then had to buy it back. So like, you really can't.
she sent $100, 50 for Daniel, 50 for Carly. Guess who got $100? Ronald. He stole his daughter's birthday gift. Does anything else need to be said? The guy, you know what? Everyone has good in them. Everyone has good in them.
Oh my God.
I just don't know where his is. Like something's wrong with this man. He needs to reconnect with the Lord. Like he says on all his Instagram pages and everything, he's a man of the Lord. He needs to reconnect with that Lord. Or he needs to, I don't know, he needs to have something, a revelation. He needs to, I'm staring at the man in the mirror. He needs to have one of those moments because he's bringing himself down.
To change my way.
Yes. He's bringing himself down. He's bringing his fiance down.
Lord, help me to get any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, think of yourself and make a change. Sorry. You put that song in my head. Sorry. I had to fall through.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
So,
it's horrible.
like, he actually does try to, like,
Oh, no. Absolutely not. You know what?
Okay, wait.
I got to a point. He was talking to her every day, right? He got to a point where me and him were cool. We would talk. A couple of weeks ago, like me and him were cool. We were great. He randomly sent me a picture of where he proposed to me and one of the first place he kissed me. He sent me a video of that place. And I was like, that's weird.
And how does his, like scamming girlfriend Bonnie feel about that?
I'm sure she doesn't know. I'm sure she's like, you better not be talking to Tiffany. Like, I'm forbidden. Like, my name causes issues in that situation. But like, he literally deleted every single message that he sent to me. He unsent it. So I'm like, clearly, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
How respectful. But there's nothing that he could do to that woman that would cause her to be like, oh, maybe this is not the best guy. She's the apple of his eye, and that's fine. But he's definitely, up to no good. And I don't think she gives a shit. I think she's just like, I have my Brad Pitt. I'm happy.
So, like, is he like, so there's no he's not trying to contact Carly?
It's not that he's not trying to contact her. Just recently, I blocked him. I said, you know what? He said, I don't even know if Carly's mine. That's what he said to me. I said, oh, my Lord. Thank you. You have liberated me. You have liberated me from you. You know what I said? Obviously, she said, but you know what I said? I said, oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, I just remembered I'm a huge slut. She might not be yours. So technically, I don't ever have to hear from you again. And I blocked them and I said, keep it that way, please.
Wow.
He's there's nothing good he could bring into our daughter's life.
Wow. No, I agree. Wow. Yes.
And how dare he? How dare he? She doesn't need that. She deserves so much better than that. He's going to question that? Like, that perfect little girl.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, he's stealing oxygen from people who need to breathe. Oh my God!
Literally taking their breath away, John.
Literally taking their breath away.
Yeah, no,
that's the caption right there. Ronald is literally taking people's breath away because they can't breathe because he's scamming them.
You should just make it that Tiffany's, reminiscing on her relationship and she just misses him so much. I just wish it was me. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was me in her shoes.
And listen, I called Tiffany 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and I'm like, okay, so because I saw Tiffany posting her story about Ronald and the scamming, and I had that's in which I showed you. I had the receipts of it, and I'm like, oh my God, I guess this is really true. I didn't want to believe it because not because Ronald blocked me. I can't stand that asshole. But I'm because people are, always trying to get a leg up on with cast members or whatnot. So I'm like, that's probably not true. And then when I saw Tiffany repost the same things that I had gotten, I'm like, okay, this is true.
It's true.
it's true. And I was like, we need to go live and talk about this. And Tiffany was like, like I'm past it. I'm like, no, it's fine, but like we need to talk about it. And here we are. So
Anything for you. You know I love you.
and I love you back. So, my last question for you is that you got a bad on social media, like real bad. Like everyone was taking Ronald's side, like when you were on the show, whether it was like Single Life or the other way, or were you
Everyone thought I
unhappily?
was
I think maybe you
so
were
hard
unhappily.
on
Weren't you
them.
unhappily too?
Yeah, I was unhappily.
Yeah. So you're no stranger to like, you've been on like 3 different, franchises, and you got a bad because everybody wanted to hate you and love Ronald.
Yeah.
How much better do you feel now when the truth's out and everybody can see?
This is what I was
Ronald
going to
really
say
is?
earlier. This is what I was going to say earlier. This is a completely open moment right now. I'm being so transparent. This is stuff that you keep inside because it's embarrassing. But I'm going to let you guys know. When I walked away from that relationship, immediately, I was like, yes, I'm winning. Fuck this guy, like he can, right? He lost the best thing that ever happened to him.
He did.
And then I planned the tell-all thing where I went to the tell-all and I was like, we're fine, honey, we're fine. And then last moment, I was like, actually, as a matter of fact, bam, 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 bam. And that's when he got mad when I confronted him. And then he smashed the screen, right? Because I finally told the world a little tip of yes, I gave the world a tip of an iceberg of who he really is, right? So then, like I said on my live, you want to make a bad person really, really mad, tell the truth. So I did, and that's why he got so mad. When I walked away from that situation, I finished the tell-all. I got into the airport leaving the tell-all. He was DMing me, please call me, please call me, please call me. I need you, please call me, right after I just ended things on TV. And I was like, no, call Lauren. She's a wonderful woman. Call Lauren. Please do not contact me again. I'm not interested. I have zero feelings for you. The man cried like a baby, and I have the voice recordings because I was that much over it that I was like, you know what? I can be evil
if you
now.
want to play them right now. I don't know.
I don't know. It's in my laptop. I
would love to hear them. I want to hear them.
And I was, hold on, guys. Sorry.
We're almost done.
Okay.
You have to go.
So just before I go, the point I'm trying to make is he was so butthurt that I left him. And it wasn't anything. I don't think it had anything to do with him loving me. I think he had that control over me and he knew he lost it. So I don't think the man knows how to love, unfortunately, not even his own daughter. And I say that and I stand by it. So I walked away and he knew he had lost control. And he was like, and I was like, right? So I'm going to give you a feather because you don't deserve the
feather. So I love that.
So
but, like, have you seen that people have been like coming back around your way now? And like, you're like, well, Tiffany, like I was wrong about.
To be honest, John, it's kind of been like that for forever though. So I walked away from the situation and I was pissed when him and her got back together because my evil plan was leave this man alone with no ATM that he can continue using to like fund his life. He's going to lose everything. He's going to have no one. Both these beautiful women left you in the dust and you have who now? Nobody. And you're who now? Nobody. And that was my plan. I said, like, you did that to me. You deserve nothing. When he got back together with her, I was like, that's not fair. Like, I have to date. I have standards now. So not everyone that comes into my life is going to be good enough for me. So I'm dating. I'm meeting people. I'm this. He ended up right away with some idiot who literally would do anything for him. I'm sure she'd take a bullet for him, like blindly. And it's not because she doesn't have standards, clearly. And him.
I mean, look at all the women that were like going after cults. I'm sorry.
He would date a trash bag if it paid his bills. He would be like, I love you so much, honey. You're the pillar of my life. He would sweet talk that bag into thinking that he loves it as long as it's paying its bills. So I don't think Lauren realizes like that this man does not know what love means. So when he got back together, I was so butthurt. And I kept telling my friend, like, no, it's not fair. Like, I deserve to just immediately be happy in love, that not him. And I was so mad. But like she said, just be patient. Karma will get him. Just be patient. And then I realized that he didn't change, that they weren't happily ever after, that he's not like this magnificent partner now, right? He's still the same pile of garbage. She's an idiot. They're not happy. Like, I can't imagine, like, oh, I love you so much, honey. Like, can you please pay the person you scammed back my babe? Like, he's clearly not happy because there are some very questionable messages that he has sent me. So things aren't all there the way that I thought they were. And everything's a disaster now. So karma did get him. So like I said, you just got to be patient. Karma will get him.
Sooner or later, karma always catches up with you. And like, I'm sure it can't be easy for him to see how great and confident and successful you are right now.
He'll never admit that.
I'll admit it for him. He's jealous as fuck.
He was making fun of, this is how inappropriate the conversation was on his part. He was making fun of the guy that I was seeing because he was stalking all my videos. He's the guy that I was seeing. I had never posted a picture of him. I had never like included him in any of my videos, but he would pass by sometimes and you would catch a glimpse of him. He was like, oh yeah, nice. The guy you're seeing is bald, right? Haha. He looks like this. He looks like this old guy, blah, blah, making fun of him. I was like, why are you making fun of the person I'm seeing? Are you salty? Because I never.
Why does he care who you're seeing?
Why do you care? Why do you care who I'm dating? Freak. Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia. Yeah. Why does he care? I know you probably have to go. I don't want to keep you.
It's getting dark.
You're like, it's completely like, night. I didn't realize you were even outside. Like when the live started. Is there anything else you want to say or whatever before we end the live? Like,
if anyone has been personally
victimized
by Ronald, please come forward. There might be a settlement for you coming soon. No. Listen, I think what I want to leave this live and say is, leave those two alone. Don't you guys worry about sending them like mean and angry messages, telling the girl she's an idiot, telling him he's a piece of garbage. Just leave them alone.
They already know that.
Karma will get them. Karma will get them. They're going to be fine. And you know what? If they live happily ever after, that's one less woman in this world that he's going to bother. Just leave them there.
I'd say amen.
Amen.
So guys, please make sure that you are buying Tiffany's cosmetics that are amazing. And following her on her journey. She's amazing. And I've never seen my friend look so, you're glowing. You really are. Like you just,
thank you.
It's
my highlighter.
It really is.
Cosmetics.com.
Which will be on AddieRose.com. But Tiffany, thank you so much for coming up here. I really appreciate it. And guys, thank you in the chat for being here. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye.